You see, I don't really have any friends at the moment. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not interested at all. My entire generation is a bunch of mouth breathers. Bottom line is I have nothing in common with the people out there, and they have nothing in common with me.
Maybe nobody likes you.
You're a dick.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. The hallmark of truly elite, top-tier comedy is its timelessness. If you can watch a scene again and again and again and still chuckle, well, that is excellent comedy. This is why Seinfeld remains the top streaming comedy show on Netflix some 30 years after the show wrapped. Because it was just so excellent, it's still funny to this day, including this prescient scene where Jerry is trying to learn how to be a pathological liar, and he goes to George for advice.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
It applies so perfectly to our modern cultural landscape. Where do you even begin? Well, let's begin with something that's not a lie, and then we'll move on to the obvious lie. What's not a lie is that AOC is one of the top-tier candidates for president in 2028 in the Democrat Party. That AOC, who's from not too far where Seinfeld is set, in the Bronx, right? She's from the Bronx. AOC, soon to be Abuelo OC, is maybe going to become the next senator from the state of New York, unseating Chuck Schumer. Look at this. She has 19 points on Chuck Schumer if she decided to run. It's fair to say that AOC is in charge of the Democrat Party and is a real heavy hitter. This is why President Trump has taken to attacking AOC over the past few weeks, calling her low IQ. Trump told me yesterday in an answer that AOC was low IQ. President Trump then endorsed AOC for president. It's great. This, of course, caused AOC to have a meltdown on social media because she just can't help herself. Mr. President, don't take your anger out on me. I'm just a silly girl. Who talks like that? I don't get that. But then down here is what really got AOC in trouble this past week. I'm a Bronx girl. You should know we can eat Queens boys for breakfast. Respectfully, says AOC. 21 million people saw this response. AOC clapping back that she's a Bronx girl, not the first time she's done this shtick to Donald Trump.
No, the president is from Queens, and with all due respect, half of my district is from Queens. I don't think he knows how to deal with a girl from the Bronx.
We clapped. AOC's a girl from the Bronx. She repeated a line that was written for her. But she said that line again and again and again.
Idaho, I am so touched being here. I'm a girl from the Bronx.
Girl from the Bronx. Now, this is in AOC's soft launch of her presidential campaign. This was just released a few weeks ago. This is from AOC's campaign to get into Congress, where AOC claims contiguously that she's from the Bronx. She was raised in the Bronx.
Speak like a girl from the block because I learned how to speak Spanish on the street. I grew up first generation in the Bronx. Mi mamá limpiaba casas.
I grew up first generation of the Bronx with my mom in my house. This is me, baby. I am from the Bronx. The only problem is, well, as much as we love the George Costanza line, it's not a lie if you believe it. But it is a lie if we can all see your yearbook photo, right? AOC clearly believes she's from the Bronx. She believes it in her heart. And so it's not a lie to her. But to the rest of us who have eyes, it is a lie because we can see where AOC actually came from. A place called Yorktown High School. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so beautiful there. We were just there. It's lovely. Despite her Bronx girl claims, AOC graduated from a suburban Yorktown high school in 2007 as Sandy Cortez. Sandy from Yorktown. Well, we went viral this week. Almost 10 million views on this by exposing this lie. AOC built her entire political brand on the girl from the Bronx. Is that true? No, it's a lie. I traveled to AOC's actual hometown to investigate, and you wouldn't believe what we found. We found that AOC really comes from a much more privileged background than you. Were you raised in a $500,000 house? Were you raised in one of the cleanest, most beautiful suburbs in all of America? Were you raised in one of the safest places in all of America? Well, you're not AOC. And you certainly won't get slobbering, glossy stories like this. That has, of course, caused AOC to have a meltdown that people are exposing her. So now she is crashing out publicly. Here we go. This is the newest crash out from AOC. There was another crash out earlier this week. Meet Sandy Cortez from Yorktown Heights, the suburbs. AOC's original crash out on this is, I'm proud of how I grew up and I talk about it all the time. No, you don't. As I have just played, there are thousands of clips of you saying you were raised in the Bronx. That is a lie. Not only does AOC lie about that, AOC, she went to kindergarten in Yorktown. She went to elementary school, middle school, and high school in Yorktown Heights. Then she graduated and went to Boston University. She's in no way from the Bronx. I tell this story on the Fight the Oligarchy tour where she takes private jets. She's on a private jet on this tour. It's crazy. And she can't get off this whole, my mom was working class. Lady, most of our moms worked. I don't understand what makes them think that they're so special about it. Nobody else gets glowing 60-minute interviews like this. Okay, so here's what AOC posts. AOC posts this 60-minute interview, all right? And it was, let's see, it's almost as if I told the story myself on national television 7 years ago. Oh, wait. And then she includes a video of a 60 minutes segment where it talks about her roots in Yorktown Heights. Now it shows her home here. It has AOC, telling the story that's been written for her many times, where she comes from. And then they move into the Bronx, but this is when AOC was late in her 20s that she actually moved to the Bronx. That she was actually in the Bronx, right? So it goes through that she was raised here, and it took maybe, look at that. It takes, okay, there you go, 30 seconds of screen time in this slobbering profile of her from CNN's Anderson Cooper, but this was on 60 Minutes, is her hometown. 30 seconds of screen time. Then the entire rest of it is on her and the Bronx and socialism. It's a little strange. All of her upbringing, everything that framed her worldview is sitting there in Yorktown. Yorktown Sandy pretending to be AOC from the Bronx. AOC getting destroyed here in the comments. You're such a con, LOL. Your parents came to this great country and produces a daughter who despises what makes it great. Very sad. So if there's nothing in this story that you tell every single day, you keep saying you're from the Bronx. No one says they're from the Bronx if they're from Yorktown. That's exactly right. It's almost like you keep telling people that you're from the Bronx. Oh, wait, you do. Look at this. I'm from the Bronx. I don't give an S about crude humor. I'm from the Bronx. I'm a Bronx girl. I'm a Bronx girl. I'm a Bronx girl. It's so weird. It's such a strange thing to say. She's getting just destroyed. You just said you eat Queens boys for breakfast, but you're a lawmaker in Queens. Do you even know where your congressional district is located? So why did you say you grow up in the Bronx? Never going to live this one down. We'll never forget you, my Bronx queen. That's right. People posting compilations of her saying it again and again. Wow, it's almost as if you tried to recently portray yourself as a Bronx girl, regardless of what you said 7 years ago. I was born in Gary. I left when I was 5. I don't call myself a Gary girl. How embarrassing. Why do you keep saying you're from the Bronx? Why do you keep saying you're from the Bronx? I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. This is the Kill Tony joke, right? She's so offended. You're not a Bronx girl. You're Yorktown Sandy. AOC getting ratioed on these. Look at that. This is, so 5,000 reposts, 7,000 ratios. Oh, man. Now you change your story from, I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up between the Bronx and Yorktown. How about just coming clean for once and admitting that you did not grow up in the Bronx instead of constantly lying? There's no proof. Let me explain this because we just went through this. and we just did all this research, there is zero proof that AOC spent any time in the Bronx, that she grew up at all in the Bronx. She might have moved there after going to Boston University and graduating with an economics degree, but there's zero proof that AOC had anything to do with the Bronx at all as a young person, that anyone was raised in the Bronx. I was raised in Iowa. I spent the vast majority of my youth in the state of Iowa. I went to Iowa, an Iowan community college, and then to the University of Iowa where I graduated. I say that I was raised in Iowa. I'm from Iowa. I went and lived in DC in my mid-20s, just like AOC moved to the Bronx. I wouldn't tell anyone I'm from DC. That's insane. Now I live in Florida. But I don't say that Florida raised me or that I was raised here. AOC says I was raised in the Bronx. I was raised as a Bronx girl. I wasn't raised as a Florida boy. That's not what happened. It's pathological. It's not a lie, if you believe it. Good luck with that, Sandy from Yorktown in 2028. We'll see you. It's your boy Benny from the block.